Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. The dictionary. You can watch this show on YouTube. You can listen to this on all the podcast places, wherever you like to listen to. Go ahead and listen. Or watch. YouTube is the best way. Hey, we're gonna go right into the words. I am recording this on November 2nd, 7:02 a.m. Yes, that's what time it is right now. Okay, the first word in this episode is enforce. E-N-F-O-R-C-E. This one it looks to be a transitive verb from the 14th century. 1, to give force to. And the synonym is strengthen. Making something stronger, making it have force, you're enforcing it, like a wall, maybe. Strengthen the wall so the zombies don't get in. Number 2, to urge with energy, as in enforce arguments. To urge with energy, so you're putting energy into your arguments. Maybe your trial arguments in a courtroom. To urge with energy. I urge you to do a thing. Okay. Number 3, the synonyms are constrain and compel, as in enforce obedience. So you are compelling somebody to be obedient. Maybe you have a dog, so you're enforcing the dog to be obedient. Go into obedience school. Constrain. So I guess just keeping it all together. Number 4 is obsolete. And this is to affect or gain by force. So if you are, So if you are taking something by force, then you would be enforcing that thing to affect or gain by force. I guess stealing, maybe, but it's obsolete. Number 5, to carry out effectively, and this example is enforce laws. So who's enforcing the laws? The police, maybe even the fire people, maybe just citizens are enforcing the laws. The judge, the jury, the lawyers, I don't know, are they enforcing the laws? And so you're making sure that the laws happen effectively. We got laws in place for a reason, so we don't have utter chaos. It's shocking we don't have more chaos. Enforceability is a noun. Enforceable is an adjective. Like a law could be enforceable. It's able to be enforced, carried out effectively. And then enforcement is a noun. Let's look at the etymology. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We don't need to go into that one at all. It's all about the word force. And now we have another one. Oh, and my sound effect is going to be, what was this? I came up with something beforehand. It's just going to be boo-a-bop. The next word is enforcer. Noun from 1580. 1 that enforces. Any of those things that I just read. Strengthening a thing, urging with energy, compelling, gaining by force, carrying out effectively. Anybody who's doing any of those things, they're an enforcer. Number 2A, a violent criminal employed by a crime syndicate. Especially the synonym is the number 1 definition for the word hitman. So the hitman is hired by the people who are doing the crime, who have money, and they want somebody dead, probably. So they say, "Hello, hitman. I would like you to murder this person who's doing something I don't like. Okay, thank you. Bye." That's how that goes. So they're the enforcer, yes, because they are enforcing the situation. They are. Which one of these would they be doing? Giving force to, urging with energy, to carry out effectively. Maybe compelling. Constrain, compelling, maybe that one. They're like, I'm coming in with some force, and you're gonna you're going to be fine with that force. Okay, number 2B, player. Doesn't say a player, just says player known for rough play and fighting. I would say a player. What kind of player are we talking about? A Monopoly player, a Scrabble player, what's one of those modern games? And I don't remember the modern games that kids are playing these days. A player in ice hockey. They would be called an enforcer. Because they're known for rough play and fighting. I mean, ice hockey in general is known for rough play and fighting, but maybe there's a certain player on a team, and they're like, oh, they're always forcing their way to rip off their mask and gloves and start punching me in the face. So they're the enforcer. I don't remember my sound effect. Boo boo ba bow. The next word is in frame. Now, is this putting a picture into a frame, or is this framing like who inframed Roger Rabbit? Let's find out. This is a transitive verb from 1615. Oh, dictionary, you're not going to tell me, because it's the number 6 definition for the word frame. Which one? Enframement is a noun. We'll never know. No, hopefully we'll find out in another year or two what the number 6 definition is for the word frame, in frame. I feel like it would be just putting into a frame, but it could be framing somebody in like in an illegal situation. Do. The next word is enfranchise. This is a transitive verb from the 15th century. 1. To set free, that's good. The example is from slavery. Enfranchise, if you are enfranchising slaves, you are setting them free. Well, I'm curious about the etymology for this one. We'll get there, don't worry. Number 2, to endow with a franchise as to admit to the privileges of a citizen and especially to the right of suffrage. Okay, so you are endowing with a franchise. It basically seems like you're giving them freedom to admit to the privileges of a citizen. You have the privileges of a citizen now. You're not a slave. You're a citizen. You have these privileges, and especially to the right of suffrage, and that's got to be all about voting. I know a lot of people are confused about this word. It sounds like suffering, but yeah, it's the right to vote in public, political elections, and referendums. So you are not only just a citizen, but you are a citizen who has the ability to vote, and so you have been enfranchised. You're enfranchising people. You are enfranchising them. Number 2B, so to endow with a franchise as to admit to political privileges or rights. And in this context, we're talking about a municipality. To admit a municipality to political privileges or rights. So this is probably just like an area of a city, a town, something. It's a municipality. So the etymology is from, let's break this down. It goes down, we're in the Anglo-French N prefix plus franc, F-R-A-N-C, which means free. That's literally what it means. So, but they also used to have money called francs or francs, which is interesting. I mean, does that one also mean free, or does it mean something else when we're talking about money? There's more of the word franc with a K, like the name Frank. Enfranchisement. That's the wrong emphasis. Enfranchisement. Enfranchisement? That's a noun. Now, I also think about like a franchise when there's a company, a chain, a food chain maybe, and then somebody's like, I'm going to open up my own one of those things. Can I franchise that? Can I take that idea and open it up? what's the etymology there? Is it because you are free to do that? They're giving you free reign to run it how you want? I'm not really sure, but I guess when we get to franchise, we'll learn about that. In the meantime, I'm gonna make some sounds with my mouth. Ba boo bow. Next is eng, the first eng word. It's an abbreviation for 1, engine, or 2, engineer or engineering. And yes, we'll see those words soon. Boo-doo boo 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 boo. Next is engage. This is a verb. From the 15th century, we have quite a few definitions. We are starting with transitive. Number 1, to offer as one's word, as security for a debt or cause. So you're offering up your word like a promise as security for a debt or cause. Engage. You're promising that you're going to pay a debt, something's going to happen. That's engage. That's one way to say engage, I guess. I don't think I don't think I'm used to hearing this one used very much in this way, but I guess maybe I'm not dealing with debts and causes so much. 2a, this one is obsolete. To entangle or entrap in, or as if in, a snare or bog. To entangle or entrap in a snare or bog. You're engaging. Yeah, this is obsolete. Wonder if the etymology is going to give more information about that. A snare, so you're trapping a thing. Now, snare and bog, those don't seem similar to me at all. A snare is like a trap. A bog is like a swamp. You're getting trapped in a thing. That's engaged. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm engaged right now because I am in a snare in a swamp. I'm in a snare swamp. 2b, to attract and hold by influence or power. To attract. So you're not only are you bring them in and then you keep them there, whatever it is, influence and power. 2c, to interlock with. To interlock with. The synonym is mesh. Also, to cause to mesh. And in this context, we're talking about mechanical parts. We're making mechanical parts mesh together somehow to create something bigger. They're engaged with each other. Okay, so many more uses for this word than I realized. As in, engage the clutch. That's if you got a manual vehicle, which I don't drive those. I tried once, and it failed miserably. So yes, engage the clutch. You want to make sure that the clutch is engaged. It's active. It's meshed with the other mechanical parts. That's how the clutch works. Number 3, to bind as oneself, to do something. To bind, to do something, especially to bind by a pledge to marry. That's the one that we think of most often. So if you bind yourself to do something, you are saying, I'm going to do this. It's kind of like the first one. I will do this. I'm promising that I will do this thing. That's engage. But specifically, engaging to marry. We are promising to each other that we will get married someday. It could be many years from now, but we're saying, yes, 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 I will marry you. I promise to do that when we get around to it. Let's see. 4a, to provide occupation for, and the synonym is involve, as in engage him in a new project. You're giving him a job, involving him in that project. You got to keep him busy. If you don't give him a project, he's just going to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need something to do. You need to give me something to do. Please engage me in conversation. Okay, 4b, to arrange to obtain the use or services of. The synonym is hire, as in engage a lawyer. So similar to 4a, because this is 4b, you're given a job to a thing. A taxi, engage a taxi. I feel like in the Commonwealth places, England, Ireland, all those places, I feel like they use this word in those places more often than we do here in the States. Unless there's another word I'm thinking of, but I feel like I've heard them say, yeah, like, I'm going to engage a thing. I'm going to, hire something. Not usually how we say it in America. 5A, to hold the attention of, the synonym is engross. I hope that I am engaging you to keep on watching this show and listening to this podcast. Are you engrossed? Not grossed out, engrossed. As in, her work engages her completely. She is so into it. She is fascinated by this work. Sometimes, there's a lot of us, we got projects. We just get so engaged in it, we forget to eat. We forget to sleep. But you got to do those things. You got to take breaks. Yes, if your intention is held, you are engaged. Movies and TV show often engage me. 5B, to induce to participate. To induce to participate, as in engaged the shy boy in conversation. Look, there's a little boy over there and he doesn't want to talk to anybody. I'm going to go talk to him. And maybe he's just really nervous and he wants to talk to you, but he needs a little help. He needs a little help. You need to go start off the conversation. He's probably got lots of things that he wants to talk about, but he doesn't feel like maybe people would be interested. So you gotta go help. You have to induce them to participate. I was often that shy boy. I just sat back in the corner and just watched people do their thing, and still to this day, I'm not very good at inducing conversation. Let's see. That was 5B. Now we got 6A. To enter into contest or battle with. As in, engage the enemy. We're not going to battle with the enemy unless it's like a dance battle. But we're going to have a contest. Let's have a contest. See who could eat to all the hot dog buns. We're engaging with the enemy in a hot dog bun eating contest. 6B, to bring together or interlock. And what's interlocking? The weapons. Just the weapons. Bringing together, like in movies, you see them putting... engaging the weapon. I don't know if that's what they do. 7, to deal with, especially at length. Not only are you dealing with a thing, but it's at length. For a long time, you're dealing with this thing. You're engaging it. Okay, now we are moving on to intransitive. 1A, to pledge oneself. And the synonym is promise. So you're promising yourself to do a thing to somebody else. It's all about engaging yourself in some way. 1B, to make a guarantee, as in he engages for the honesty of his brother. I don't think I've heard of this one. To make a guarantee. So he is guaranteeing that his brother will be honest. I don't know. You can't trust people all the time. Is your brother going to be honest? You don't know. But if you're engaging for them, then you are saying that they're going to do what I say. So I hope you're right. 2A, to begin and carry on an enterprise or activity. And this is used with the word in, as in engaged in trade for many years. Engaged in trade for many years. And so you are carrying on an enterprise or an activity. Was a trade, or it's trade stock at the stocks, trade in the stocks, or are we literally like trading goods and services? That's the system that I think we need. I think we need a goods and services system instead of money. But that's just my opinion. I don't have anything to trade, though, so I would be very poor. 2B, to do or take part in something. To do something or to take part in something. This is also used with the word in, as in engaged in healthy activities. Those are the best. activities. We don't like unhealthy activities. No, that's a lie. We love unhealthy activities. Can we make them more healthy? Sure, why not? I engaged in a healthy activity this morning. I was on a stationary bike for 15 minutes, a whole 15 minutes. And then I did a little weightlifting and a couple of pull-ups, and that's it. That's my limit right now. I need to do more healthy activities. You're just engaging. We have another example, though. Engaged in bad conduct. Good thing the dictionary gave us both sides of the coin. Healthy activities and then bad conduct. You know, you're human. You can do both. Whatever you want. To see. To give attention to something, and the synonym is deal, as in failing to engage with the problem. There might be a sneeze coming up. Woo! Oh, that was fun. Okay, so failing to engage with the problem, you're not dealing with it. You got to deal with your problems. Oh, I don't want to do that thing, so I'm just going to push it off to the side. I don't want to engage with it right now. I got other things that I'm engaged with. I'm engaged to be married. I'm engaged to drive a taxi around. I'm engaged to do this project. Do I have to be engaged in those other things? Yes, you got to deal with them. Number 3, to enter into conflict or battle. There's no example there. It's similar to the previous. There was a transitive one about that. Yes, context or battle with the enemy. 4, it's the last one. To come together and interlock, as in the gears engaged. With the clutch, maybe. You got to engage the clutch to make all the gears in the car get engaged together. They're married. Okay, let's look at the etymology. Okay. Well, based on all these definitions, it seems pretty obvious now. It's from Anglo-French engager, which is from the N prefix, plus gage. I don't know how to say this word, G-A-G-E. And that means pledge or gauge, which is also spelled G-A-G-E, which I don't know if I've ever seen that word, but I guess it's like a pledge. And so, yeah, that's what this whole word is about, making a pledge, promising to do a thing. I mean, most of them are. So, make it so, engage the engines. Had to get that in there somewhere. That's I hear engage. Most of the time I've heard the word engage was from Star Trek, when usually Picard says, we're going to go somewhere, and I want you to put the engines into warp drive 7. So ready, set, engage. That's not at all how he said those words. Okay, let's move on to the next word. Ba-da-boop-a-ba-bow. It's the word engagea. Is that it? No, it's engagé. So it's also, man, I don't know why my nose is so itchy. Is it dry? Maybe it's dry. I don't know. So it's the word engage, but the last letter, the last E, has an accent that goes boop, down on the left, up on the right. So it is pronounced engagé. It's an adjective from 1946. Committed to or supportive of a cause. Committed to a cause, supportive of a cause. There's lots of causes that I am committed to and supportive of. Just yesterday, as I'm recording this, November 1st, is World Vegan Day. And if you're a regular listener, you know that I have chosen to be vegan in my life for the animals, mostly for the animals, also for the planet and my health. So I am. So how do you use this in a sentence? Committed to or supportive of a cause. Would I be engagé for a vegan cause? Is that how this word gets used? You're describing something as engagé. It's just from the word engage, to engage. So I guess, yes, it's you're pledging, you're promising that say, this is a thing that's important to me, and so I'm engagé about it. The next word is engaged with a D. Adjective from 1629. 1. Involved in activity, and the synonyms are occupied and busy. I'm sorry. I am busy recording this podcast, and I can't, don't call me, don't text me. I'm engaged in this process. 2. Pledged to be married, and the synonym is betrothed. Back in the day, there were it was the parents of the people who were getting married. I mean, it's even going on these days too. But they were the ones who were promising, our kids will get married together. We have betrothed them, so they are engaged. And I'm gonna get some donkeys. Number 3, greatly interested, and the synonym is committed. Greatly, so I'm just so interested in a thing, I'm engaged in it, like a movie. Most movies, they're keeping my attention. There's not a lot of movies that don't keep my attention. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've never walked out on a movie. Yeah, if it's on, I'm probably engaged. I can't put a movie on or TV when I'm going to sleep. Because it just distracts me. I just can't. My brain, it's like listening to it and watching it, so I can't do that. I'm too engaged. Number 4, I think that's where we are. Involved, especially in a hostile or hostile encounter, and this is probably with the enemy. That you're involved in a hostile hot dog bun eating contest. They're throwing the buns. That's why it's hostile. Number 5 is partly embedded in a wall. The example is an engaged column. So the column. So I guess if it's if it's not a 360-degree column, if it's not independent, where you can walk around all sides of it, if it's partly built into a wall, then it would be engaged. It's promised to that wall to get married. It's busy. It's busy inside of the wall. Number 6, being in gear, and the synonym is meshed. I didn't realize, I mean, we're probably talking about the gears in a car with the clutch and all that stuff, but meshed, I don't know if I would have called them meshed, but maybe that's maybe the car people call the gears meshed when they're all together and engaged. I didn't know that. Okay, we got one more word for this episode. It's the word engagement. We know this word. It's related to all these other words that we've been reading. It's spelled E-N-G-A-G-E-M-E-N-T. Noun from 1601. 1A. An arrangement to meet or be present at a specified time and place, as in a dinner engagement. I promise. See, that's what the thing. It's a pledge, a promise. I promise I will be there at this place at this time for a lovely dinner with you. 1B. A job or period of employment, especially as a performer. Why especially as a performer? So you got a job as a performer. Maybe you're a dancer and you got hired to just do some dancing for some people, entertain them. So it's you got an engagement. I guess I'm trying to think about this. I guess if you have just a regular job, it's not an engagement. We wouldn't call it an engagement because it's a regular job. Like my job, it's like, it's a normal work day, Monday through Friday. But if you're a performer, your jobs, it's like one of those gig jobs. You got jobs at different times in different places. And so each one is a specific engagement because it's not at a regular time or place, I guess. Is that the way that we're supposed to think about it? Number 2, something that engages, and the synonym is pledge. So a pledge, that's the synonym. Something that engages is an engagement. It's also called a pledge. It's a promise. 3A, the act of engaging, also the state of being engaged. In any of those ways, you're in a state of being engaged. 3B, emotional involvement or commitment, as in seesaws between, where did it go? Seesaws between obsessive engagement and ambiguous detachment. And that is a quote from Gary Taylor. So, emotional involvement or commitment, you're emotionally engaged. So the quote again is seesaws between obsessive engagement, where you are obsessively emotionally involved or committed in a thing, and then also ambiguous detachment is like I just don't care. I don't care at all, or I care a lot. Lots of care, not a lot of care. And I go back and forth. This person, Gary Taylor, was talking about somebody, maybe himself, I don't know, who is just, you go back and forth between those. I don't think I'm like that. Most of us, maybe, I don't know. I don't know you. 3C, the synonym is betrothal, and that's all about engaged to be married. 4, the state of being in gear. So the gears are in engagement. They have an engagement to be married to each other, or they already are. 5, a hostile encounter between military forces. Yeah, we see the same types of things coming up in all these different forms of the word. Okay, well, there's no etymology because we talked about that. So that means, say it with me now, we're going to pick a word of the episode. That's the time of right now. We had today enforce, enforcer, enframe, enfranchise, engage, engage, engaged, and engagement. Let's see. I mean, engage obviously was a big one. We had a bunch of engage words. Enforce, enforcer, enframe. The enframe was the only one that didn't really give me enough information. I don't know exactly what it means. Let's see. Enfranchise. Oh, I do like that enfranchise is all about setting free. Maybe let's pick that. Enfranchise, setting free. I'm setting you free. I'm setting you free. You're a bird and you're gonna be free. I'm enfranchising the birds. Be free. And with that, I will talk about a movie. Bringing up my list here. Let's see. No. Okay, I got messed up with my little things. I believe the next movie that I'm going to talk to you about is Split. I don't spend a lot of time on these things. So Split is, I don't know, is that a spoiler? At this point, I mean, it's a little bit of an older movie. Anyway, it's from M. Night Shyamalan, and it's about a guy who's got multiple personalities in his head. And it's based on a real guy, I guess. How weird would it be to have all of these personalities in your head, and I had so many questions about how would this work logically? When do they pop out? When do these personalities come to be? And are they like, I don't like the clothes that the person has. I'm this new personality, so we got to go shopping because I'm a 9-year-old child, or I'm an 80-year-old lady, and a lady who's 80. And so do you have to like buy new clothes every time a personality pops up? Every time they come out, just like, well, these aren't the clothes I want to wear. I gotta go change. Or this room or house is not designed the way that I want. How do you deal with those things? That's what I was thinking about when I was watching this movie. It would be very hard. You wouldn't get anything done. How often did these personalities pop out? Anyway, lots to think about there. You think about that. This is the end of the episode. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, make me feel good, and then watch all of my videos over and over and over again. This has been Spencer, dispensing information. Goodbye.